Good afternoon. This is Colette Bartow at the Office of Public Instruction in Montana. And before we get started with our digital blast, I just wanted to let you know that there are a couple of things that you can do as a viewer to engage with our content and ask us questions. If you hover over the left side of your screen, you'll see two yellow tags that you can click on for links. And there are two links that you can see in this presentation. The other is a little blue square, and that allows you to ask a question that we can answer for you. Whether you're viewing this as a recording or as the live session, you can have the chance to look at those resources and to ask your questions at any time. So with that, I want to introduce Martha Cole from the Montana Historical Society and launch into our presentation for today.
And I'm just delighted to be here, Colette, so thanks for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome.
I'm really excited to share some of Montana Historical Society's resources. And this week we're going to start by looking at our hands-on history Footlocker program. And you can find all of our resources at our website, so mhs.mt.gov, also montanahistoricalsociety.org, or just Google Montana Historical Society and you will get to our webpage, which looks a lot like this. It looks actually exactly like this. And then if you go to the Education and Events tab and Educator Resources, that's where you're going to find everything that is specifically useful to educators. And I invite you to come back here and explore this whole site. But right now we're going to look actually at the hands-on history Footlockers. Our Footlocker program offers thematic traveling trunks, which focus on a wide variety of topics, ranging from the fur trade and mining industries to Indian life during the reservation period and today. We have trunks on homesteading, immigration, ranching, and many other topics. If you scroll down, Colette.
Yes.
Is driving for us. You can see that there's a link that'll give you a list of available Footlockers. And we can just look at a few titles. So keep on going. And so you can just see the sort of range of topics that we have. And some of them are more popular than others. They go out, we have at least 2 copies of every one of these Footlockers. They travel all across the state. When schools order them, they get them for 2 weeks, and then they have to send them on to the next school. There's no cost to using the Footlockers in terms of rental, but there is a cost in terms of shipping. So the school is responsible for paying the shipping costs to the next school, which averages between $35 and $50, depending on the weight of the Footlocker. One thing that lots of teachers like to do is to find someone else in their district who's also interested in using that Footlocker, and then they can book them, 2 weeks and then 2 weeks, and so then they can share the cost. Or, if you can find someone who's in driving distance, you can just drop it off. So that's one way that districts cut costs. And we have worked with some of the big districts actually to book a whole bunch of them, and they circulate them through their district and then just send them.
Yeah, quite often we can find a friendly person to take them down the road or to move them around, so they're readily available.
If you want to go, if you scroll down a little more, and right there it says reserve a Footlocker. This is our reservation form. And we ask for your contact information. It's pretty straightforward, your email, your organization name, your address, that sort of thing. We need a shipping address, not a P.O. box, but a street address. And we ask some basic demographic information. And then you can actually book them for a particular date. And our website will show which dates are available and which dates aren't. And like you see there's a 2-week period that you get it. There's a week grace period for it to get from one part of the state to the other. So if you're going from Sydney to Browning, there's time for it to actually make it for the next teacher.
That's great.
So if we can go back to the PowerPoint, I'll tell you a little bit about what's in these Footlockers. I'm going to share with you some of the material from my favorite Footlocker, which is Coming to Montana, Immigrants from Around the World. And this is the one that we've redone most recently. So it's aligned to the English Language Arts Common Core standards. The other lesson plans we haven't yet gotten aligned. They do align, but we don't tell you what they are. But with this one, we do tell you what they are. We've reworked the lesson plans. We put new items in it. And so, for example, this one, and it's all about immigration. So there's, you know, these are the sorts of objects that you'll find. Tools for work. If you keep on going, we'll see, you know, tools for making special foods.
That makes me hungry.
Games that people play. Just to the left, those are Basque bone, or they're bones, they're sheep bones for a Basque game that's a lot like dice. On the other side, there's a dreidel. So things that might not be familiar to your students. And then a lot of images. I love this image of a sign that was outside the mine in Butte. It really kind of brings home how many different people from different places came to Butte.
It would be really neat to have students guess or be able to identify the different languages are there.
And actually that is one of the lesson plans that's in this, is having students go to Google Translate, figure out the language, and then map, find a country that speaks that language on the map, figure out how far it was to Montana from that country.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, and then historic photographs and all sorts of lesson plans that use these items. One of the things I think a lot of people don't realize is a lot of the lesson plans we have with the Footlockers can be done whether or not you have the trunk itself. Mm-hmm. So the objects are really fun, really exciting, bring a lot of life to history, but you can use many of the lesson plans in the Footlockers even if you can't bring the actual trunk. If you go back, I think, to the web page, I think that's the next slide. We'll have a link back to the web page. Nope, another beautiful, this is, yeah.
Music.
Yeah.
Love it.
This is a direct link to our Footlocker. Or we can just go back to the, there we go. If you click on any single one, so go ahead and click on that Coming to Montana. And this is the user guide that's going to download here. You can open it up. You can preview what's in there. You can see the objects. You can see the lessons. You can preview them. You can figure out which ones require the trunk, if there's some that you want to do that don't require the Footlocker. But that's all posted as a downloadable PDF.
Beautifully done, too.
That everyone can use. And a lot of the lesson plans, some of my favorite lesson plans actually don't require getting the trunk. So our mining Footlocker, for example, has a lesson plan on mining muffin reclamation, where you bring blueberry muffins and toothpicks into the classroom, and you have kids mine for blueberries, and then when they're done, they try to reclaim their muffin, and you can talk about the environmental impact of mining, but also the necessity of mining.
And you know, like you were saying with the lesson plans too, with that huge wealth of images, those primary sources, whether it's a sign or a photograph of a group of people or a map or something like that, you have great access to those things through the Historical Society as well.
And as we rework the Footlockers, we're putting the two-dimensional objects like the photographs up online as downloadable PowerPoints. Mm-hmm. So you can still use primary source lessons even if you can't get the Footlocker itself. Great. Yeah.
That is awesome.
So each Footlocker also has narrative for educators so they can have background information, actual reading material written with students in mind, including amazing Montana biographies that feature different people around the state, information on interpreting primary sources. So it's a great, rich resource.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we hope that you have enjoyed this digital blast that is intended to be a very kind of short and focused exposure to a new resource or an idea that we would like to share with you, Martha and I. And so we have a series of these blasts. Our next one happens next Tuesday, the 15th, same time, same bat channel, same bat station. And that is an introduction to art integration and Charlie Russell lessons, which we are so excited about being able to share with you next week. A couple of other things too, just so everyone knows that this session is being recorded and will be available on YouTube as a recording that Martha and I will share out. And then we will also put this series of 4 digital blasts together as an online course that would be available for one renewal unit. So be looking forward to that around November or December or so. But we really want to thank you for spending this time with us this afternoon. You can always ask questions through the Q&A if you hover over that on the left-hand side of your screen. And don't hesitate to be in touch with us. We look forward to seeing you next time. Martha, would you like to say anything to close out?
It's very exciting to enter this brave new world of online professional development.
It's awesome. Thank you very much, and we will see you all next week.